VollGazzRacing Season 10, Division 1, Round 10 here at Circuit de Jerez, and I'm here alongside Ropey in the commentary box.
Hello all.
So, in the last round, Platt, in absolute dominant fashion, won the championship, and he'll be looking to keep his 100% finishing record, eliminating somebody who won a championship on a BMW this year in BSB. I won't say who that was in case you don't know who that was. You know, it's quite obvious to figure out. So VTR, he says he's not feeling the greatest on the bike for whatever reason at this circuit. So damage limitation, he can still fight for second in the championship. It is between Nelson, Craig, VTR, I think. So it's going to be about those three today, I reckon. Maybe Jack Berman as well, even though he has suffered a lot of bad luck in the past few rounds. We've got Dima Black returning, Vita Best returning as well. And then the other guys who joined us last week, for some reason, aren't here, whatever reason they may be. Flavio probably is celebrating qualifying for the Rising Stars, so that's pretty much fair enough, because of the amount of effort that would have taken for him to achieve. But anyway, we will go on board with Platt for his, hopefully, first flying lap, but usually when this happens, he usually dumps it this season. But we'll find out what happens as we come up to the final corner, running really wide to get the best exit possible to start the lap. Will he get into? I imagine he'll get into stays in fifth gear. So his gearbox is quite long. Through turn one, that was okay. I think, if I remember rightly, his time trial time was a 33 flat. Well, I'm not too sure. Who is the second rider on track? Because that's VTR, because Flat immediately validated in turn two, as I predicted he'd make some sort of hash of it. So VTR will be the first person at the stage to set a lap time.
So before we start seeing lap times, Jack, who have you got your money on besides Platt?
So for the battle for second, usually it's between Nelson and Craig, I'd say, but I just don't know, because both of them have had incidences this year where inconsistencies have fallen upon them. But I will go Nelson just because I think they probably might just suit the track a little bit better, and yep. I think generally, I think most of the time, if nothing goes wrong for the pair of them, he is the one who's most likely to be second place, so I think I'll go with Nelson.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a battle between Craig and Nelson. I think VTR is going to benefit from it, and I think VTR is going to walk away with second.
All to play for, and VTR is getting a little helping hand here from Platt as he backs out and starts giving him some form of tow or reference and slipstream as VTR kind of blows the last corner. But he will get a good run to start the next lap if that is his intention. As he crossed the line, set a 1:33.3. So maybe it's a 32 flat. I saw that Platt do. Oh, and VTL loses the front, just like many people did in qualifying earlier in Division 2. Melson goes second. Jack Berman, I think, might be the next person. Or was it Sire? It's Jack Berman who is going to be next. On the podium, I think it was last week. I can't quite remember. Yeah, I think he took the podium. He took third place.
Yeah, Jack won podium.
His first race in quite a while where he hadn't been taken out, and he showed what can happen when he doesn't get taken out. Sire, who reportedly, I can't tell with Sire if he's being serious or not, but I know he's maybe not practiced as much as possible. He has his first lap 5 seconds off the pace, but I'm sure that will be rectified on the next lap as Platt. Surprise, surprise, 2 red sectors. What front tyre he is... Oh, God, that front tyre almost went. I think he's got the soft rubber in. Is it? I'm trying to remember from real life. Is it? Yeah, it's soft medium in it for the rear tyre. As Vita is on his opening lap on board the Prima Pramac Ducati. And he goes into third place, just tipping the factory Ducati of Jack by 1/10. So, as we've seen in real life, the Prima Pramac Ducati has the potential to be faster than the full factory Ducati. No spoilers on what's happened in today's race in case you haven't watched it. But
we've just heard from race direction that Craig's accidentally left the lobby, so don't like he'll be qualifying for this race.
Has he?
Yeah. He's just messaged through now. Strange though, because he's still showing up on positions, but...
And he's now slowing... Well, why that confusion happened? Oh, God. Sire now comes up to the line, currently 5.4 seconds off the pace. I'm assuming that's going to close down right down. Yeah, there we go, 1.5. It's still 7th place, but it's okay for now. As Craig is still riding around, so I don't quite know. Maybe they just thought Craig wasn't here because he was just sat in pit lane for ages. But he is out on track now, and we'll be about to set his first lap. Sorry, his personal best, because it's obviously his personal best. It's his first time setting a valid lap. But Vita Best now, the Italian, through Ferrari and now into Lorenzo corner. Rupert, I don't know about you, but I've never understood why it was called Lorenzo corner, because I never remember Lorenzo actually ever overtaking anybody in that corner, but only being overtaken. But Vita invalidating in that final corner, I think hitting the grass. I saw there was quite a few people doing that in D2. I don't quite know if that was because people just like cautiously braking too early and turning in too early or what, but that seems to be quite does Craig have a qualifying penalty for his...
Yep, 8-minute so he's not allowed to leave till 8th minute, yeah.
So that's why. So Craig did do one lap out, so I'm guessing he's penalising himself. I don't know. And that is obviously for the collision with Nelson. I can't remember if has he got a long lap as well?
No, it was 7-minute qualifying.
7-minute qualifying, man.
Yeah.
So for Craig, really, it's what to do it an out lap, and in lap. It's 4.5 minutes or so. So he might just be able to do 2 runs here, but it might be safer to just go out under race tyres and set just a benchmark time.
VTR's looking good. It's only second. Nelson's 4 temps behind.
Yeah, Nelson, VTR not
might
confident.
win some money today. Come on, VTR.
VTR wasn't confident.
Yeah.
And into the race, but
the thing with VTR is when he's too confident and he's got good pace, he seems to make mistakes. But yeah, I've got my money on him today. Nelson and Craig to battle it out.
Oh, Vita goes onto the front row. So you have 3 different manufacturers on the front row as Vita loses the front in turn 1. How easy is it to crash at, say, turn 1? Because I'd say turn 1 and turn 13 in Division 2 are the hot spots for crashes. Ooh, I didn't see the crash in turn 2 as well.
Nelson's been a bit cheeky trying to nick a toe off his teammate.
Can't blame him. So Nelson, he's got a nice reference of VTR in front, who has noticed that he was behind and has backed out and crashed at turn 1. Platt, surprise, surprise, 2 red sectors, 32.8. For the life of me, I can't remember what his TT time was. But I know it was a 0.0. I'd assume it'd be a 32.0, given on 22 the fastest lap times were like 32.3-ish. So round the 2 right-handers for sector 3. Is it another red sector? Yes, it is. Currently just under half a second ahead of VTR. How far is he going to push the boundaries on this lap? As we come up to the final corner, hard on the brakes, wheels in line.
Craig's gone a bit wide.
And here comes Platt up to the line. It's going to be another pole-setting lap. It's going to be a 1:32.4. And Craig on his first lap of the session. He's gone down. So It's time to
Is he going to be straight in the pits or not?
I'd assume so. So, Superbikes are here in 2 weeks' time. It's time for Craig to do an early Super Pole. Even though in real life, oh, and Nelson's lost the front at turn 13. And he's going to, I assume he's going to return to the box as well. Yep. So Nelson on a potentially front row setting lap, losing the front at turn 13. Don't quite know who else is on laps here. I don't think anyone else is on actual lap times. Everybody's on an out lap or an in lap. So you have to just wait and see what happens. So we wait to see who will set their personal best times at the end of the session, as VTR now is going to come up to the line to start his first of 2 final laps of the session. Hard braking to turn 1 sideways, nice and making the apex, running a little bit wide on exit, and the Aprilia wheeling quite a lot as it has done all season. No matter who's ridden that Aprilia, it seems like it's a bit of a wheeling machine as he goes through the long hanging corners now and crosses the first sector point and is setting a personal best, as Vita and Saya are also on personal best lap times. I think Vita might just be no, he's not. So Saya is currently going to be the first person to improve their lap time, who is on a current lap. 3 orange sectors for the Malaysian, the former champion in season 6 on board the Pramac Ducati.
Craig's out, set his first lap, 2 sectors in.
Yep, so everybody now on personal best lap times, apart from VTR, who set a grey sector, and Platt, Dima and Jack aren't on laps yet. Saya up to the line, where does he go? And he jumps to the front row, leaving it as late as he dared, and he's got 1, maybe 2 more goes at it actually. Is Vita now up to the line, and can he retake the front row spots? He sets the exact same lap time, and now he comes, VTR is going to be the next one across the line, and he's blown the last corner to restart and get the best run onto this final lap. So we'll go to Craig as he enters the final corner, and will start his final lap as well. He's not done the last corner the best, but knowing Craig, he'll go around about top 5 if the lap's been tidy enough. Bang, there we go, anti-genius. Mr. Top 5 goes to 5th place, but for how long? Because Nelson has managed to do the final corner okay. I don't know about you, Rupert, but my point of view is quite laggy. I'm guessing that's just me, as Nelson retakes the 5th
I'm
place.
absolutely fine.
Yeah, okay, as long as you're fine, that's okay. I'm obviously having some... I don't know, honestly, for Division 2 it was fine. I don't know why when it comes to Division 1 now I have just absolute nightmare problems, but yeah, just doesn't want to... Just Wi-Fi is just saying no for some strange reason.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
But it's grey sectors for everybody at the moment. Nobody improving on their lap. Platt is about to start his final lap with under 10 seconds on the clock. And Nelson's gone down, so Nelson will be starting at 5th place at best. And he won't even be the top
Craig,
Aprilia.
You've got to improve.
It's not looking good for Craig. It's not normally qualified. Oh, and VTR's gone down as well. It's not normal that Craig is outside of the top 5. And I think that's he's not riding very fast, so I think he might have run out of fuel here, and that might be a session over.
Yep.
So the only person on top... Oh, Jack Berman. Jack Berman is improving in the final sector. Hopefully he doesn't get any traffic. Craig's teammates getting out of the way. Just about. That was a bit of a heart in your mouth kind of moment there. Jack into the final corner, losing the front. But he's just about held it together. Up to the line. Can he salvage not being last place? Yes, he can by 1,000th of a second. Platt lost time in sector 2. Can he find any time in 3? Yes, he can. But he has invalidated. So it's just Saya and Dima left to finish the session off. And I don't think either of them are on rapid lap times. Dima, if he can pull off some kind of miracle last sector, might be able to... Oh, he's gone down. So it's just Saya left now. And Saya, I honestly cannot remember the last time Saya started on the front row.
Let's pray for Saya that he doesn't have a wheel spin this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he asked me to wish him luck, so I told him break a leg.
Break a leg, eh?
Oh,
Hopefully he don't break into turn 1. Let's see.
Yeah. And he's actually given Vita the third place, so I won't be starting on the front row, it seems. So we now ready up and get ready to start the race. And now we have to wait for everyone to ready up, do their setups, do the tyres, and see. We pretty much know who's going to win the race, who's going to win the battle for second. Are any of us two going to be right? Is it going to be one of the factory Pirellis, or is somebody else going to steal it away from them?
Yeah, I'm still strong with VTR. I think second place is a win today. Platt's already ran away with championship, so yeah, come on VTR. You never know though. Jack Berman could perform like Pecco did today.
Yeah, Pecco did a good job. Obviously, don't know how he did. We won't say where he finished, but yeah. he definitely did a good job. He did better than he did in the sprint race. Let's just say that. As we just wait now for Dima and Vita, the two Prima Pramac Ducatis. I guess Dima's the Zarco and Vita's the Martin at the moment. Right, let's go. So, Platt, he has won every single race thrown at him. 2 sprint wins, all 9 long races. Can he make it race win number 12 here today? Answer's more than likely yes, but here we go, the lights are on. Lights on for a very long time. Dima's jumped the start. Everyone seems to have got away well. No spinning glitches off the line. Sides had a terrible run. Terrible launch off the line as they go into turn 1. And it is Vita who is... Oh, Craig's gone gravel tracking. Oh, and Dima's gone down. Dima goes down at turn 2. Vita's fallen all the way back to 7th. And it is going to be Nelson who takes charge of the... Oh, and Vita's at the back of Nelson's rear tyre and has gone down. So both Prima Pramac Ducatis on the floor. And Saya recovers from his bad start as in 3rd place. heading towards the third sector now. Platt's already got a 1.1 second lead. It's only been 5 corners. Hard on the brakes now into the hairpin bend. And Jack Berman from the back of the grid is in 4th place. Maybe we could take inside for 3rd now, as we change direction now for turn number 7. And Jack Berman moves into 3rd.
By Jack.
Brilliant stuff there, using the exit power of the Ducati. But Sainz going to send it underneath the Ducati into turn 8. Jack's going to try and turn it underneath using the curve.
Come on, little Pecco.
And he's through. Jack Berman back into 3rd place. And Craig now, he's in 5th, VTR in 6th. So these four are quite close together. Nelson breaking away by 7 tenths as these guys are fighting. Platt 1.3 seconds. We know Nelson, this has happened quite a lot where Platt clears off at the front. Nelson uses him as a reference and can just break away from the chasing pack as these guys all fight. Sainz going to send it up the inside of Jack into the final corner. Craig's gone wide. And VTR trying to overtake him, but it's just quite not possible. And everything stays stationary at the moment as we head towards turn number 1 again. And Jack Berman's gone down at turn 1. There's a big head shake. I think I don't think he hit the back of Sire on entry, but he had a bit of a massive bobble and went down, and that takes him out of the podium contention. And Sire has just got a 6/10 gap and can breathe a little bit, but VTR is all over the back of Craig. He needs to find a way through to make an Aprilia 2-3-4. But Craig, we know he's
changing for Nelson. His toes pulling away. Platt's pulling away.
2 seconds the gap, 1.1 over Sire, and Sire doesn't have to bother defending anymore, so he can ride freely. He hasn't got a battle. And here comes VTR on the inside into turn 6. But can Craig undercut him? Yes, he can. And Craig retakes 4th. VTR's going to get the better exit, but Craig holds on to the position and is in 4th place. But VTR, can he do what Sire did on Jack? The lapper goes to send up the inside into turn 8. He's at the grass and he's down.
Oh, VTR's down.
VTR just being too aggressive too early. He didn't really need to make the move. He has, it's a 13-lap race. There's 11 and a half laps to go. And that is a really big mistake by VTR. He just had to wait patiently. It was clear he had more pace than Craig. And he was just really too impatient there. And, Nelson, Platt's cleared off, as expected, 2.7 seconds, now 3 seconds. And Nelson has got a 1.2 second gap of his size. So he's eking out a couple attempts a lap, but we know Nelson's tendency to just make a really stupid error at the most inconvenient of times. So, for Mugello, for example, he had 2nd place in the bag and he went and dumped it at turn 4, then dumped it again, and then eventually finished in last place. So we know, but Nelson, he's definitely learned from those mistakes, and usually, if he does go down, it's usually not from his own doing. So we just have to wait and see Nelson. It's obviously fighting for 2nd place in the championship with Craig. I can't quite tell what the championship standings are because I haven't done them yet for the last round. So when I do them in a couple of days' time, when I get the chance, I'm sure we'll have an understanding. But from what I can tell now, it's going to be a 2-horse race between Craig and Nelson for that 2nd place in the championship, which is basically what most replies would be the actual title, since Platt has such an advantage of everybody else. So it's all the best prize everybody hopes for when coming into this season. As Dima Black, from his 2 long lap penalties and falling all the way at the back, it's still good. Jack's gone down again.
Am I right? What I'm seeing, Nelson's the only person who's not picked up a warning as yet.
Yep, you've just taken the words out of my mouth. Nelson doing a great job there. Track limits in Jerez can be a difficulty because I'm not sure. I've never ridden around Jerez on this game, so I don't know. But I know last year the inside curves, especially in the middle. VTL's gone down again at turn 12. But the inside curves, especially in like the 2nd and 3rd sector, were really pivotal in gaining lap time. So I know you might want to try and get as close to the paint as possible using the curves, but people taking some liberties. Platt's already on 3 warnings, so I don't think it will really matter if he gets a long lap because he's got the gap anyway to win and take the long lap and still be in the lead. So I don't think that'll be too much on his mind. He'll just be wanting to control the pace, keep doing what he's doing, try and win by at least 10 seconds plus at the minimum. So I think at the moment he's on course to do that. As Nelson, he's just putting his head down and he's pulling. He's got the gap's now 2 seconds to Sire, and Craig is 0.9 seconds behind Sire. So Sire's doing a really good job in the past. Since 2022, Sire's biggest problem has been just random crashes. where he will just tip into a corner, not do much wrong, but just, I think just from a lack of understanding or feeling with the game he has, for some strange reason, he just tends to throw it down the road. But Jerez usually is a good hunting ground for Sire, has been in the past, so hopefully he can pick up his first podium of the season, I believe. No, he's finished the podium once, I think, this season, so hopefully he can pick up another one. And he is holding the gap firm, and Dima Black is, of course, coming behind them as well. So, with his 2 long lap penalties from his jump start, obviously that, and he's just lost one of them. So that's 3 seconds added to his lap time. So these guys at the moment don't have to worry about Dima because at the moment he'd be 2 seconds in front of Jack Berman. So in theory, there's no need to worry. But Vita is battling with VTR. VTR's in last place from second place on the grid. A complete disaster. He was quite negative heading into the race, and unfortunately it seems that negative mindset has transcended into the race, whether that is his own fault or not. But he has suffered 2 crashes, at least one on his own accord, as we saw at turn 8. At turn 12, no idea how he crashed, but he's currently in last place, and someone of VTR's caliber will definitely not be wanting to stay there. But it just seems like the bikes, I think he's just not riding well, put it simply. He's making mistakes. He seems to be maybe a bit frustrated at the mistake he's made, and he's just not riding the way he could be. But it looks like he could be set to overtake Vita for 7th place as we go into turn 9. This is an overtaking spot, but it's quite difficult on these games, especially because there's not that much time on the change direction and the straight in between. But VTR, I'm pretty sure that maybe the last corner could be an option for him. Or he's going to see trail limits as well on the curbs. And now heading in towards the final corner. But Vita's doing a very good job placing his bike in the right areas, and VTR's run really wide onto the blue paint, wide a long lap area for the last corner, and VTR's just not riding well at all.
I think if Nelson can keep this up, he's pulling away. He's going to take 2nd place back in championship, and he's really going to bring that smoke back. Yeah, he's doing a brilliant job. I'm surprised.
Yeah, Nelson. He's taken multiple 2nd place finishes, multiple 3rd place finishes. Austria was quite a disaster, but that domino effect that started his downfall wasn't his fault, and then his 2nd crash also wasn't his fault. So, and then I don't know I can't know what happened after that, but it was just a real race to forget for Nelson due to just factors out of his control. When he was trying to keep a championship alive, and it just all went pear-shaped from lap 4 onwards. But this time, he's got out in front, he's got clean air, and he's just extending the gap over Sire by about half a second a lap or so. And he's making sure that Platt is not extending the gap over a second a lap as well. So that's also very impressive from the 2-time champion. And we do see that sometimes
Craig's just starting to close in on Sire as well.
Yeah, Dima and Jack have both got... Jack's just picked up a long lap penalty, but Nelson, he does have this tendency where he can just out of nowhere in one of these laps just pull out Dima's gone down at turn 12. I think he's lost the front and hit the curb. So that is definitely...
VTR not to get the wooden spoon after all.
Yeah, possibly. But Nelson, I think he does have these tendencies to just on one lap, just a really random qualifying lap, and he can be about 3/10 off Platt on fastest lap. So I won't be surprised if we do see that. But Craig now, slowly but surely, closed up to the Malaysian of Sire. Sire, I know he's desperate to speak to me in Parc Ferme. Every time he says always next week, I'm going to speak to you. And unfortunately, it never seems to happen, but he never told me that last week, so maybe that... And obviously, as previously mentioned, he asked me to wish him luck, so I did. And even though I don't think he quite understood the saying, because I used a saying in theatre, not just generally good luck. But anyway, Craig will get into that point now where the pace is pretty similar, and he's just having that front-end feeling where you just lose that tiny bit of performance, and you just have to figure out how to re-ride the bike, because You've now gained the dirty air and the front tyres overheating and the pressure's going up a little bit, and your braking mark has changed ever so slightly with that little added slipstream. So I think Craig will be in overtaking range in a couple of laps time, or if Sire makes some form of mistake. But you know, he's got the gap from 1 second to 3. Nelson's gone down at turn 12, and now that promotes these two into the podium places.
Wow.
And that gives Platt an 11-second lead. But we do know Nelson actually does have quite a bit of pace.
Nelson brought the fire, Craig brought the water. Come on.
Yeah. So Nelson, we do know that he does have the better pace. So in front of these two, he's got probably the best part of half a second, 3 to 5 tenths of a second a lap on these guys. So if he can just keep it together, not get too hot, I've no doubt that he can be in the podium fight, and we could have a three-way scrap for second and third place at the end of this race. But I know Nelson would have said some probably explicit words, whether that be in English or Dutch, depending on how angry he is. But Sire, I can't remember the last time Sire was in the top 2 in a race. Probably like season 8. When he eventually figured out how to ride a bike on GP22, and then season 9 he went and forgot how to do it. But Craig making quite a big mistake there. Yeah, big mistake there by Craig at the Danny Pedrosa dry sat corner. And Jack Berman and Vita having a collision at turn 6 as well, and VTR still in last place. Can't help but think that he must be struggling with something, but I hope for his sake he doesn't finish last, because that would be a really big mental blow for him. It does seem weird the fact that Sire does use Rossi's Mugello 2015 helmet of the recycling, even though that is probably one of Rossi's least popular helmets. And but anyway, Sire doing that helmet good justice. It got a podium that day, and at the moment he's on course for one. If he can just hold it together for another 5 laps. And he's on the curb there. That was a bit scary. But he is holding off Craig and Nelson for pace. He's, all 3 of them are pretty much on identical pace, and the biggest beneficiary I have to say is Craig in terms of championship wise, because he's gonna gain those couple of extra points on his title rival.
Yeah, I don't know if Craig will if he'll make the move on Sire. I think he's happy where he is. We are the championshipers at the moment. Yeah, difficult one.
Of course, this is the best riding I've seen from Sire all season. I don't think he's made one mistake so far. He's looked pretty clean. I don't want to speak too soon, because I know Sire can just dump it at any point. He's done that for the past 4 seasons. So I'm praying to God that Sire just holds it together for these next 4 laps and 2 corners, and bring home this second place, because he would deserve it. And Platt's already on lap number 10. 12.5 seconds up the road. Craig running quite wide, but now Sire messing up the exit of the hairpin, and that has cost him 2-3 tenths per second, just pressing that curb, spun the rear, and not getting any kind of drive. And when you don't get drive against the Ducati, that's pretty much butchered the mid part of the corner, but nailed the exit part. It just brings you back into the fight, and Craig now is applying the pressure to Sire.
He's going to take the risk, though.
Yeah, Vita's gone down. VTR is now out of last place. So, can Craig put Sire under pressure? Can he find a way through on the Aprilia? We know the Ducati's got the horsepower advantage, but round here, there's not that big of a straight. You've only got here on the start-finish straight, and with Sire not hitting the curve there, Craig is not in overtaking range unless Sire completely blows the corner, or Craig has absolutely mental strength from braking. But Craig now, he's just taking a look here and there. Sire running quite wide lines. He's on the curb as well. Oh, he's picked up a long lap penalty.
It's all over.
It's over to the fat lady's
side. Craig, you don't... Whoa.
What's going on here?
Craig.
And Craig's got through. Laying over till it's over. And Sire's now in third. If I was Sire, I'd wait to the very last moment to do the long lap, as he's going to try and go up the inside of Craig. at turn 11 to 12, and a brilliant move by the Malaysian. He's back into second place. And he's always taken a long lap. He's done it right in front of Craig's path. Luckily, Craig's not gone down, and that now promotes Nelson back into the podium places. Craig's been set free, 1.3 seconds up the road. Vito's gone down again at the final corner, but he's managed to hold on to 7th place.
Sire's caught Nelson really quick, hasn't
Yeah, he didn't lose too much time during the long lap loop.
Yeah. It's a difficult long lap as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Craig, 1.5 seconds up the road. I think he's in a safe enough place where he'll just be riding to conserve now. He won't be making sure he's hitting all these markers, not taking any form of risk. I won't be surprised if he stays away from all the curbs, because hitting these curbs have caused quite a few crashes during the qualifying and the race sessions today, and you don't, especially with like these harder tyres that they have to run, because the way the game is with the tyre wear this year, it's can be prone to just the bike making some very strange movements, and Platt is not going to pull off a perfect race as he picks up a long lap penalty. On lap number 11, does he complete it? Yes, he does. And we're about to find out how much time he lost from his long lap as these three approach the final corner. I did say Craig could afford to back off, but he has lost half a second, and that's exactly the gap you don't want to be losing, because half a second a lap brings Nelson round his tail heading towards the final corner, and Platt has only managed to lose 1.3 seconds in that last corner, so quite impressive. As into turn 1 they go, and Nelson is in that 1 second range. He's now...
Yeah, I feel like he's going to push this lap. He's really going
for
Nelson.
He's just giving him that sense of belief. And look at that, the gap's already gone to 7/10. So you don't want to give, of all people, you don't want to give Nelson that little bit of hope that that second place for the race and the championship is still on. Give Nelson some hope, and he will fight and give you a nightmare of a time for these final 2 laps. Craig's got to just put it together, not maybe push that a little bit more, can't he? Maybe he was a bit too reserved on lap number 11 as it goes into turn number 6. Dry cycle, Danny Pedrosa. And into turn 7. You see they're avoiding the curves as I've predicted he would, staying absolutely out the clear, making sure he doesn't make any form of error. Because I find the curbs seem to be quite volatile here, especially the change direction and braking. The bikes do not want that, and he's run a little bit wide through there, but it's okay. And Platt is about to start the final lap of this race, 14.7 seconds ahead. And Craig's engine has lost sound. Well, I think everybody's engine's lost sound. That does make me worry, because I was thinking like maybe he's going to run out of fuel. But I think everybody's in the same boat. So, last lap time. Oh, Sire's gone down. I said Sire will have a random crash. Usually there's a random crash at some point, and he's gone down on the penultimate lap. Luckily, though, he's holding on to 4th place. So my good luck charm has
Hopefully I broke a leg, eh?
Yeah. And I think Craig's just doing enough now. 8/10 the gap.
I don't know. I think Nelson's really going to bring it to end the race. I think he's going to close in this lap.
8/10 in 1 lap. I can't see it happen unless Craig has a massive moment into turn 6 or something like that. He's just going to ride I think if he can just get through turn 6 unscathed, I think second place is his. No questions asked, unless obviously he makes a really silly error into the final corner and the final sector, which we've seen many people do. Cautious braking into the hairpin. Nicely rounded there, as we are in the 3rd sector now. Hitting all his markers, not making any sort of error, and it looks like Craig is going to extend his grasp on 2nd place in the championship. As 3 races will remain after this one, but we will go to Platt, who rounds the final corner and will win his 12th race in succession. Absolute dominance once again. Not a perfect race, but as perfect as you can get without crashing. And Craig's lost a lot of time in this final sector, but just being really conservative into the final corner. And that is going to be 2nd place for Craig unless he runs out of fuel. And Craig crosses the line to finish second. Nelson third. Sire has lost. Well, he's going to finish fourth anyway because of Dima's long lap penalties. But Sire crossed the line in fifth. Jack Berman is going to finish in sixth. VTR will be seventh, and Vita will round out the field in eighth. So we have it. Platt wins once again this season. Craig is in second, Nelson's in third, Sire fourth, Dima fifth, VTR sixth, Jack Berman seventh, and Vita in eighth. So we'll go to our podium finishes first with Nelson. Nelson, it was going so well, you'd got yourself in a good position, and then a mistake at turn 12, and that cost you the chance at second place, but you nearly recovered it, but it just wasn't meant to be. But how was that race for you?
No, I mean, overall, I already knew I had a little bit of a pace advantage in the race run, as I usually do. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, I got in a good rhythm, good pace. You know, took Platt as a reference the first few laps, and then it really helped me put in a little gap. And once I got the gap, I was just concentrating and focused, and I was riding pretty well and comfortable. But unfortunately, I got called mid-race, and I had to decline the call. And while declining the call, I unfortunately went too inside on the curb on turn 11 or turn 11, and turn 12 for me, turn 12, and I unfortunately high-sided, which cost me my second place. But you know, overall, I can only take positives from this race. I had the better pace than the guys today. I had to recover a little bit after the race, but it shows who should be second in the championship.
Yeah, so congratulations, unfortunately that's the reason why you went down, but yeah, hopefully that doesn't strike in the next 3 races for you.
Yep.
So second place goes in the way of Craig. Craig, qualifying wasn't the best. You had your back against the wall with your qualifying penalty, but you managed to survive the bit of a melee. That was the first couple of laps, and you ended up in a race-long battle with Sire. That was eventually made easier for yourself when Nelson and Sire both, Nelson went down, Sire took a long lap penalty, and you just had to ride and hold your pace and finish in second, and you did so. So how was that race for you?
The race was quite good. Quali didn't go how I expected it to. I only got 1 lap in, and it was a very bad lap. The race though, yeah, I had a great start. Obviously, I can't remember where I qualified. Obviously, I think I was 2 rows or 3 rows back. I had a great start, and then out of turn 1, I got nudged wide. Not sure. I think someone put the throttle down early and then bumped someone, and it bumped into me. But yeah, after that mayhem, I just got my head down, tried getting through the pack. I did have a bit of an issue with the bike. It just felt really heavy. I don't know why. When we've done practice rounds, it's not felt like that. So I was quite lucky, I feel, to be on the podium today, because Sire looked strong. He was maintaining the pace, or the gap, sorry. I was closing it in. But my aim was just to focus on Sire, because Nelson was gone. Nelson had pace. Don't know where he pulled that out from. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened with me. I feel like the bike was heavy. And Nelson making a point about being second in the championship. Well, if you want to be second, you've got to finish ahead of your rivals. And
just before we move on to Platt, can we go back to because obviously Platt's won the championship, I believe. Craig and Nelson, Mazzano next weekend. Nelson, quickest lap today, 33.5. Craig, 33.8.
Wait. Can I stop you there? Quick laps don't mean nothing. It's consistency.
Right. So let me finish speaking. So between the two of you, because obviously Nelson today brought the fire, Craig brought the water when Nelson went down. Where do you think you're going to be next weekend between Well, a battle for second place.
I think it will be quite strong next week because I like Mazzano. It's the catty land as well, and you know I've been very consistent recently. Can't remember. I think the last mistake I made was before the sprint race at Kazakhstan. But other than that, I've been very consistent. So I feel like I'll probably come out on top.
Your home track. What do you think you can do to take it away from Ducati land?
Now, okay, so I mean, Misano is known to be my track where I won the championship in Season 5. I won it in dominant fashion as well. And as Craig knows, I've been dominant in this way for seasons and seasons long. I'm still showing that pace today, till this day. So these few massive blows that I'm taking is just letting you getting a little bit too comfortable to talk like this. But you know,
right.
Misano,
so brilliant. Congratulations to both of you on your podium. Let Jack go back. Hand you over to Platt.
Thanks, Jack.
Right, where are we? Right, let me just make sure I've done that right. So Platt, apart from the long lap, perfect race, 12th win in a row. How was the race for you? And we obviously got the 2 final rounds coming up. Obviously, you should be the favourite for all 3 races. Who do you think will win the battle between Craig, Nelson for second place in the championship? Well done on your 12th victory of the season. I'm sure you'll make it 13 next week and then 15 the week after. So that has been it for round number 10. We're back for round 11 next week. And yeah, we'll see you then. Goodbye.